Well, hello there. I'm Gemini. That battery can last up to 24 hours, even with the always-on display turned on. It's pretty cool.
Welcome to the Cigar Fatigue Academy and the literary universe of writer Cruz, today with more than 50 books dedicated to the world of Habanos, through fiction and a stoic love for them. In this world, the art of the Habano is so much more than a hobby. Today, we're jumping into one of those stories, a journey to see how smoke, ash, and leaf can actually become a philosophy for living.
So, let's meet our protagonist, Dantes Cruz. This guy is a world-renowned expert. He's a teacher, an author, the whole nine yards. But he's about to face a trial that is going to completely unravel everything he thought he knew about his life's greatest passion.
And just to give you some perspective, Dantes has written 50, that's 50, books on Habanos. He's taught thousands of people. You would think this guy knows it all, right? But he finds himself in the ultimate exam room, feeling like a complete fraud, a total beginner. It's like a film critic who's seen every movie but has never once stepped behind a camera.
And this right here, this gets to the absolute heart of his problem. For all his fame and success, Dantes feels like an imposter. He's talked about the craft, but he's never truly been in it. He's there to earn a totally different kind of authority, the kind you can't learn from a book, the kind you have to earn with your own senses.
All right, so what's the first test for a man who's dedicated his life to smoke and flavor? You might think it's some incredibly rare, expensive cigar, right? Nope. It's something way more fundamental, something designed to just shatter his confidence and then rebuild him from scratch.
So, any guesses? What do you think of this? What's that first big hurdle that separates the people who just talk about it from the true masters? I'll give you a hint. It's probably the last thing you'd expect.
Yep, water. The first test is tasting water. We're talking 9 glasses, some salty, some acidic, sweet, bitter, and one that's just pure water. But here's the kicker. The challenge isn't just naming them, it's detecting the tiniest differences. For example, one sweet glass is obvious, but the other is just a whisper of sweet. This has nothing to do with cigars. It's all about humbling the ego and sharpening the senses to a razor's edge.
And make no mistake, the stakes here are unbelievably high. His mentor, Yasser, makes it crystal clear. This isn't a game. A bad taster, they can cost a factory millions. They can destroy the life's work of hundreds of skilled artisans. Mediocrity isn't just a flaw, it's a disaster.
So what's the real lesson here? It's not about being a water-tasting champion. It's about learning how to hit the reset button, how to come back to a neutral baseline, a point zero, so the memory of the last thing you tasted doesn't mess with your judgment of the next. It's a masterclass for your palate, but man, it's also a heck of a lesson for life.
Okay, so with his ego properly checked and his senses dialed in, Dantes is ready for the next phase. And this is where things get really intense. This is the Stoic's forge, where the cigar stops being an object of pleasure and becomes a tool for mastering the self.
First up is fortaleza, which means strength. And listen to this definition. It is raw. Burning, scraping, persistent smoke that provokes a cough. Whoa. Yeah, this isn't about enjoying a nice, smooth flavor. This is a full-on assault on the senses. And believe it or not, that's the whole point. And here's where the philosophy really comes into focus. Yasser calls the cigar a premeditatio malorum. Now, that's a classic Stoic idea. It means meditating on future troubles. You're not doing it to be miserable. You're willingly facing something difficult so you can practice and master your reaction to it.
And this table just lays it all out. A regular smoker, well, they just react. The strength hits them, they cough, they try to get away from the discomfort. But a taster, a true catador, they play a different game entirely. They anticipate the impact, they study it, they control their body. They don't just put up with the discomfort, they domesticate it. I love that.
So you can see where this is all headed, right? This training is building towards a much bigger picture. Dante starts to realize that every single element of the Habano is actually a metaphor, a tangible lesson in how to live your life.
Let's take the tiro, for instance. That's the draw. On a technical level, it's just how much resistance you feel when you take a puff. But in this academy, of course, it's so much more than that.
And what an incredible analogy this is. Think about it. A draw that's too tight, that's life when it's a constant, exhausting struggle. We've all been there. And a draw that's too loose, that's life without any structure or discipline. It's chaotic and it just fizzles out way too fast. But that perfect draw, that's the sweet spot. That's life in balance, the perfect flow between effort and ease.
Then we get to the aroma. His mentor calls it the first truth. Now that's a pretty bold statement, so why? What makes the aroma so special?
It's because the aroma is pure honesty. You just can't fake it. It's the entire story of that tobacco's life, condensed into scent. It tells you about the soil, the sun, the hands that cured it, the time it spent aging. It's the cigar's autobiography, told in molecules, with no filter.
So after all of it, the humbling water test, the battle with strength, the life lessons in the draw, the honesty of the aroma, Dantes finally reaches the ultimate truth of his journey. And it's a complete transformation of who he is.
And this quote from Yasser just nails it. It's perfect. A tourist just visits. They see the sights from the outside, they take some pictures, and they leave. But an inhabitant, they live there. They know the rhythms, the secrets, the soul of the place. Dantes finally went from being a tourist in the world of Habanos to truly being an inhabitant.
Which kind of leaves us with this one big question to chew on. This whole journey, it wasn't really about cigars, was it? It was about Dantes confronting his own ego, his limitations, his gut reactions. So maybe the mastery of any art, whether it's cigars or music or painting or anything else, is really just about mastering yourself.
If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, if you learned something new, subscribe to the channel because we are just getting started. And remember that you can now enjoy the complete collection of writer Dantes Cruz on Amazon, today with more than 45 books dedicated to the world of Habanos.